Smack, crackle, pop. That's the sound the ball makes when Jalen Hurts is throwing darts at practice. And where is Wallace string? Where is Wallace? Well, Wallace was found today as well as QUEZ Watkins. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. I hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. On the day after one of the most historic days and events that happened yesterday as the Kelly Green jerseys were relaunched, the Eagles were back at practice, and anybody that thought Jalen Hurts wasn't going to be better this year than he was last year is gladly mistaken. And finally, we can say we found Wallace, or at least for today, we found Wallace string. We found him. And QUEZ Watkins, he ain't going down without a fight. We got a lot to get into, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, thank you so much for all the support you give to me. It truly means a lot. This is a reminder, I will be streaming tomorrow, Monday, as well as Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Also, Philly Shakedown tonight. We will be back at it. It should be a lot of fun. We couldn't do it yesterday because I was down at the shore, the West Coast shore, which is like 60 degrees down there, but it was pretty interesting nonetheless. Now, before and as always, when we start these videos for training camp, we got to start with the injury report. Once again, the Eagles, for the most part, are relatively healthy, and this is so important. And this is something oftentimes when you get Super Bowl teams, especially, a lot of times you got guys come into training camp banged up, late surgeries. Not the Eagles. The Eagles are pretty healthy for the most part. Here's the Eagles injury report for today. Limited. Derek Barnett, limited. Avonte Maddox with his big ass toe, and then Reddick with some groin soreness. Now, the good thing about Reddick that we need to talk about real quick is that Reddick is doing some limited practice, and he is starting to see how things are going with his groin. So expect Reddick to be back, I would say, by sometime next week. I think he should be good to go. Now, in this practice, I gotta tell you, this was a day that I think, well, first off, I should say this, and I don't want to forget this, because this is so important, but it was Military Appreciation Day, Veteran Appreciation Day for the Eagles at camp. Had a lot of military people out there. I love when the Eagles do this. I think this is a great day, because as I always say on this channel, we hold veterans with the utmost respect and reverence on this channel. I am glad to see that the Eagles do the same. If you have served or if you are serving, thank you for the support. And thank you for everything you do, and thank your family for everything you do. It isn't easy. It's just not easy, to have to go overseas or be away, and it's not easy for the family. So I'm always happy that the Eagles do this. At one point during the press conference that Sirianni was having before practice, I guess they were doing the national anthem, and he stopped until the national anthem was over. So the Eagles showing great respect for the veterans there, and I really, really like it. As far as today goes, man, this is a day about the offense. I mean, Jalen Hurts was absolutely dealing. Started 4 straight completions, and what everybody was saying was his accuracy is even on another level. It was on another level, and you could tell, especially when you were comparing him to the other quarterbacks there. The ball was coming out fast and furious with a lot of pop. He said it was hitting people's hands, and you could just hear the pop. So Jalen Hurts was dealing. Josh Talatino wrote this: wow, Jalen Hurts begins 11 versus 11s with 4 straight completions. His latest throw was a perfect arc over double coverage into the outstretched arms of QUEZ Watkins. That was a dime generated applause from the fans that were in attendance. Now, Jalen Hurts, I mean, like I said, he was absolutely 100% dealing. He hit A.J. Brown down the sideline for a touchdown where Brown beat Darius Slay. Then he had Devontae Smith a couple times. Devontae Smith made a nice catch at the sideline. Devontae Smith also made a great catch where Sidney Brown would have been called for a flag. We're going to talk about Sidney Brown in a second. A lot of good news, for the most part, coming from Sidney Brown. And Devontae Smith looks like a number one receiver. A.J. Brown looks like a number one wide receiver. QUEZ Watkins made a bunch of nice throws, nice catches today. Jalen Hurts, like I said, he was being praised. His accuracy, they were saying it looks elite. And yeah, I think QUEZ Watkins had a pretty good day. Brandon Lee wrote this. It's been an active practice for QUEZ Watkins. He's had a good day, easily the strongest of camp. And Elliott Shore Parks, we know he likes to keep statistics. You gotta love his statistics. He said, big day for QUEZ Watkins today. Has 5 targets so far with 4 catches, including 2 long ones. Pause. All first teams, Pound Eagles. So QUEZ Watkins, big day, as well as Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, we expect. We kind of expect that that's going to happen. So when we hear that, we're like, yeah, that's our boy. We know. But Jalen Hurts just had a great day at practice. The Eagles were also running a lot of quarterback runs, a lot of design runs. So they were really working on that, not just with Jalen Hurts, but with Marcus Mariota. Now, Mariota did throw an interception to James Bradbury. So a bit of an up-down day for him today. But Jalen Hurts, great day. And here's the other thing I want to talk about with regarding to the offense, right? Jalen Hurts, we know, is dealing. But Deandre Swift is early in camp, a lot in practice, being used out of the backfield, being used to catch balls. They are throwing a lot to him. We are going to see the running back used in the passing game a lot more than we've seen the last 2 years. And this is going to add another dimension to the offense, which in turn is going to make teams have an even harder time of dealing with the Eagles. You know, based upon what we've heard, and I know that they're doing running back rotations, but I'm hearing a lot about Deandre Swift, heard a little bit about Kenneth Gainwell, haven't really heard much on Penny, haven't really heard much on Scott. Trey Sermon, I think he was battling some stuff today, but he has looked good. It's just, will he get a shot? But Deandre Swift, very active with the first team offense. Another big play for Jalen Hurts, this time on a Deandre Swift on a real route doing 7-on-7. Really nice catch from Swift. Been seeing that a lot during camp. And then there was another play where he had to turn his body to go the other way, and it was really tight coverage. Jalen Hurts threw a complete dime, and Deandre Swift made a nice catch. So what we take out of the practice for the offense especially, we've got to take the fact that Jalen Hurts, this by far was his best day. People, first 2 days of practice, well, why is the offense struggling? Why is that happening? Are you worried, Philly? No, I'm not worried at all, because this is what happens to offenses. Sometimes you start off a little slow. Looked like the offense got going today. Looks like Jalen Hurts was dealing today. And to me, that's a very good sign of things to come for the Eagles. Great day of practice for Hurts, the receivers, Deandre Swift, and you got to love what we're seeing. Now, as far as the defense went, it was a really kind of interesting day. Obviously, I think this was a day for the offense. At one point on 7-on-7 drills, the offense won and the defense had to go and run laps. But there was a lot of interesting kind of changes within the depth charts and who was with the first team on defense today. For instance, we always talk, where's Wallace? Where's Wallace string? And I honestly don't, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if this is a good sign or a bad sign. Who knows? But Kevon Wallace is getting first team reps. I don't know, is that good? Is that bad? Who the hell knows? But he was. Where's Wallace string? Where's Wallace? Shout out to The Wire, great show. But yeah, Kevon Wallace, he was on the first team reps. Didn't hear much about how he did, but he was getting a lot of first team reps. Also, Christian Ellis. Take what you want from this same scenario. But Christian Ellis is getting first team reps over Nicholas Morrow. He was in on the first team with Nakobe Dean. And the one thing I can say about Christian Ellis is every day he's making plays. You got to wonder, is he moving up the depth chart? Because a lot of us, including me, think he could be a dark horse to win a starting job. And I think maybe it's happening a lot sooner than we think. But if you go back to the springs and stuff with the OTAs, everything we heard coming out of those practices is watch Christian Ellis, watch Christian Ellis. Well, Christian Ellis is now getting first team snaps. We talked about Hassan Reddick. He's still limited, but he was out there on the field. Nolan Smith continues to be unstoppable. He is so fast off the snap. That first step is so quick. He put pressure on Jalen Hurts a couple times. One time in particular, he was close to getting him, had to kind of cause Jalen Hurts to get out of there quick and roll out because he was putting pressure on. Great performance by Nolan Smith again. He's looking good. Jordan Davis. Let's talk about Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis is making his presence felt every day. He's in much better shape. He's not gasping for air. Remember, like in the games in preseason last year, he was out of shape and he would be breathing. And he'd be breathing so hard. He's so big and he's such a big man, balls. But he's sitting there breathing, trying to suck in air. Every time he sucks, everybody was getting pulled in. Everybody was getting pulled in. Pause again, I think, on that one. Yeah, but Jordan Davis was out of shape. This year, that's not the case. Today, he saw a screen to a tight end, blew that Mauler humper up. That brought on cheers with those people that were in attendance. Jordan Davis, he's looking good. Jalen Carter's looking good. Nolan Smith is looking good. And that's a great sign. Sidney Brown, one of the things that we keep hearing about him is that he's very smart. He kind of gets an idea of what is going on. There were a couple of times where, they don't tackle fully to the ground, but if the play would have gone to the ground, there would have been losses on the play because he read the play so quick and got where he needed to be. Sidney Brown is another guy we've got to watch out for in camp because he's going to make a big impact. But Sidney Brown, pretty good day. And I talked about A.J. Brown and how he beat Darius Slay down the field, and we're going to get the Slay haters or the people that think he shot. See, Darius Slay, he's shot. You see A.J. Brown's beating him, Devontae Smith's beating him. But truly the case is this. He got beat early. Later on in camp, he was covering well. And it was a battle between him and A.J. Brown. He gave as good as he got. And I don't think you should worry too much about Slay. James Bradbury, too. James Bradbury, last year when he came to camp, we went like 2 or 3 weeks without really mentioning a lot about him. And people would say, well, what about James Bradbury? What about James Bradbury? We haven't heard anything about him. And the truth of the matter was, he was just having a nice camp, just going there, doing his thing, not a lot of talk, not a lot of hoorah, just going there, doing his thing, and being very effective. We're getting the same thing from Bradbury. He would have had a pick that would have been actually a pick 6 today, against Marcus Mariota, but he continues also to have a great camp, very quietly, just going about his business, taking care of business, and this is a really good sign. So that is pretty much how or the things that stood out to me in training camp today. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff, but those are the things that really caught my eye, caught my attention, and what I wanted to talk about. I think, what I take out of today is offense was spectacular. Jalen Hurts looks like he's going to be even better this year. Defensively, I take there are some real battles going on. Christian Ellis is challenging Morrow for that starting job, and they're either not happy at the safety position of what they have so far, or Kavon Wallace, they want to give a really good look, one more chance, and see what he has. But it looks like those two positions are positions where battles are going on. Cam Jurgens was continuing to get reps at right guard, I should say that. And then they had Driscoll at one point playing, I believe, tackle along with Kelly. So Driscoll is one of those guys that you could put at guard, you could put at tackle, and that's what makes him so valuable. So that's really what I've seen. There's a lot of other stuff to talk about. There's a lot of stuff about the press conference and things we have to talk about in that. Also, Philly Shakedown later tonight, so look for that as well. With that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will be back probably later with another video of Philly Shakedown at least. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat, and remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Okay, so I'm as excited as the next person, or most of the people. I would say 90% of the people are very excited about the Eagles jerseys, very excited about the Kelly Green. I think they look absolutely great. I do. I wish they would be permanent. I believe that these things are going to be such big sellers, and everybody's going to want it, that eventually they may really have to go back to Kelly Green because people are going to like this way more. I believe that the refresh for home away jerseys, I believe that's coming next year. But I'm loving the Kelly Greens. We've got people who are camping out tonight. They're actually camping out to get jerseys. If you're somebody camping out, reach out to me, man. I would love to hear about it, because if I was back home, living in the area, I would totally be camping out with you guys tonight. I would totally be there. And there's a lot of questions about where can the Eagles get can you get the jersey online? I assume at some point the Eagles Pro Shop will sell it. I don't know right away. I think it just may be for those that go into the store. But I will be there Monday morning trying to get myself my Devontae Smith jersey. And I can't wait to see more pictures with the guys with their helmets on. Denzel Washington, out.